Right, welcome back now. Disturbing story we've been watching. There's a North Dakota teenager who was reportedly killed over his political beliefs. And now the suspect who called 911 is already out on bond. Now, this is the victim. Look at this, 18-year-old Kaylor Ellington from Grace City, North Dakota. He was hit in a hit-and-run accident. He died from his injuries.
The driver, 41-year-old Sharon Brandt, called 911 on himself to report hitting Kaylor. After the two got into a political argument, he claimed Kaylor was part of a Republican extremist group who was out to get him. Brandt was arrested and charged with criminal vehicular homicide and driving under the influence. He's been released on $50,000 bond and could face a minimum of 10 years behind bars. But he's out right now. Donald Trump Jr. responding on Twitter, quote, an 18-year-old conservative is murdered by a 41-year-old leftist, and the media is totally silent. No connection to Joe Biden in his insane speech of just 2 weeks ago. It's as though it never happened and doesn't matter. Of course, Trump would not get the benefit because our media is broken. As for the FBI, well, an opinion piece written recently by Miranda Devine in the New York Post talks about these new bombshell allegations from FBI Special Agent Steve Friend contained in a whistleblower complaint filed late Wednesday with the Department of Justice and the Inspector General, revealing a politicized Washington, D.C. FBI field office cooking the books to exaggerate the threat of domestic terrorism and using an overzealous January 6th investigation to harass conservatives and violate their constitutional rights. Well, Friend, a 37 respected 12-year veteran of the FBI and the SWAT team, was suspended Monday, stripped of his gun and his badge, and escorted out of the FBI's field office in Daytona Beach, Florida, after complaining to his supervisors about these violations. So they are ginning up these allegations against conservatives. And also, we have this example here of an act of violence from a leftist against a conservative, which, of course, you don't hear anything about Merrick Garland or anything from Merrick Garland.
No, and the media is not covering that story. And then these brave whistleblowers, when they come forward, this is how they are treated.
Well, let's welcome in now our panel. Republican strategist Aaron Perini is back with us. Daily Caller reporter Brianna Lyman is here as well. And so is Jack Brewer, retired NFL player and entrepreneur. Great to have everyone with us. And Brianna, let's go first to you on this one. I mean, Donald Trump Jr. kind of nailed it, I have to say, allegedly, because, you know, this guy is still a suspect at this point. That's the only thing I'd change about that tweet. But gosh, the thing that I'm hung up on, Brianna, is the bail, the fact that this guy is out on bail after mowing somebody down allegedly.
Yeah, the bail thing isn't even too surprising, at least for me, because I'm from New York, because we know that we desperately need bail reform here, and so many perpetrators are constantly let out, whether or not they commit a murder or other, heinous crimes. And Donald Trump Jr.'s tweet did nail it on the head, because you have to remember, it wasn't just Joe Biden who called, Republicans extremist threats. It was Tim Ryan from Ohio who recently said that we have to, quote, kill and confront the extremist movement. And of course, I'm not directly placing the blame on either of those individuals, but nonetheless, that type of rhetoric is very inflammatory. And when you have that circulating and not being condemned, it does lead some people who have mental issues clearly to take that as almost like a call to arms.
What I think, too, is so unfortunate is the media will run with these ultra MAGA, fascist comments. But then you have this young, innocent guy. He's hit by a car. At least they should be reporting this and not continually showing their bias, Aaron. I mean, if they're going to call out, one side and talk about how there's so much vitriol in this country, let's just at least report the facts.
Absolutely. And that should be the first priority of news organizations, is to report the facts. But we've seen bias. We've seen it in big tech. We've seen it in the media and the news industry. And we've seen it in the government within itself. We've seen the IRS and the DOJ be weaponized against those who would not agree with Democrats or the left-leaning persuasion. We've seen where the FBI has said that they want to step in and stop Donald Trump from becoming president. We all remember Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. What we ask for as Americans is equal opportunity, is the ability to have fairness in this country. And when so many things are stacked against the conservative cause, against those who are a more conservative or right-leaning, that makes it very difficult to have any equality in this country. And that should be what really worries people the most, is if we're not hearing about it in the news, if big tech can silence it, and ultimately, if there are ways that we've seen the government be used against individuals of certain political beliefs, that should be what worries people, and they should speak up and speak out against it.
Yeah, Jack, they don't want to talk about this story over on these, establishment legacy corporate leftist media outlets, because they are more focused. Everything is about January 6th at this point. And this big story about Jenny Thomas, Clarence Thomas's wife, she's going to be interviewed by the House January 6th committee. Her lawyer is saying that she is eager to answer the committee's questions. I mean, we probably heard a lot, everyone's watching this, about the text message that she sent Mark Meadows. But, you know, the left is all hot and bothered about Jenny Thomas and completely silent about Hunter Biden, and also defending him, too, if it ever comes up, saying that he is off limits because he's a family member. The hypocrisy is obvious.
It really is. And the sad thing is to see, you know, all these true American patriots who should be really awarded and promoted. Now they're being demonized. And I'm talking about many of us on the right, the conservatives. And that's just what's happening across our nation as you see them weaponize government. But they're persecuting those on the right. And this poor kid that died, so a family lost their son. And you don't hear this anywhere in the media, in the liberal media. And that's really sad that the nation has gotten to that point where that's even accepted by either side, regardless of your political party. Yeah. It's like we're losing humanity in our nation, in this demonic field of trying to make one side the demon in regards to every part of our politics. And it's just gone too far. You know, when you see how they treat so many folks that are incarcerated, so many criminals are treated so harshly. But it seems like nowadays, if you're a liberal or you're in a liberal city, they just let you out, and they don't force the people to have to pay a price for the decisions that they make. And it's really sad. But I think this is a tipping point. I think as conservatives, as Christians, as faithful people in the United States right now, we all see where we are with the spiritual warfare happening around us. And I think it's going to be a call to arms for so many people to actually arm themselves with the word of God. Get back to church, get back to praying, because these are spiritual times right now, John.
Yeah, you got to think about something bigger than yourself. And definitely faith is one way you can do that. Just trying times, you know, it's just a lot to
And I think
digest.
that's why the whistleblower, and it's so disturbing to hear that this guy, you know, Jack, you said patriots, people that are willing to come forward and expose what is going on. You know, 12-year veteran of the FBI, Special Agent Steve Friend, taken out of the FBI field office just last week, according to the Post, in Daytona Beach, Florida. He's caught in the storm, too.
Step out of line, you are going to pay a severe price for it with this regime, the Biden administration. We're going to have to wrap it up there. We're out of time, but we're going to get back to Jack, Brianna, and Aaron again in our next hour. Everyone, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Also,